Hey, Justin Turpin here from Clear Change Hypnosis, and I want to show you an overview of how to do the Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT, or also known as tapping. So first you want to pull up that negative feeling, the emotion that you want to neutralize. I want you to pull it up and make it present for you. Oftentimes we'll feel our emotions in our face, our chest, or our abdomen. So pull up that feeling that you don't want to feel, and it's really important that as we go through this process that you hold that feeling present through the entirety of the sequence, because that's what allows this process to neutralize that emotion. So hold that emotion present, and if you can, identify like what kind of attributes it has. So maybe it might feel heavy. Maybe you'll feel it, like you might notice where it is in your chest or your stomach. You might notice that it has a weight to it. Maybe it's heavy or light. Maybe it has a color, like it's dark or it's light. Maybe it's translucent, transparent, opaque. Just notice what kind of attributes it has, because that will allow you to kind of find the boundaries of that emotion so that when you neutralize it, you know like that it's gone. So hold that emotion present, and then rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being it's not there, 10 being like you're going to jump out the window to avoid this pain. So give it a number on the scale. And that's so that way when we calibrate it after going through the process, you can notice whether it's changed and how it's changed. So while you're holding that emotion present, after you've given it a scale on it, given it a number on a scale of 1 to 10, you want to hold that present and start to tap. So as you go through, you're going to tap here on the karate chop point, and you can use 2 or 3 fingers, and you only need to tap about 5 times. It takes like 2 seconds. So you're going to tap on one spot. The next point is going to be on the very top of your head, and these are all parts of your nervous system where they would put in needles for acupuncture or acupressure, not acupuncture. And so the next point after the top of the head is going to be between your eyebrows. And it might seem silly to do. Next point's on the outside of your eyes, like right on the outside of your eyebrow. It might seem silly to do, but it works like magic, so just give it a try. The next point is going to be underneath your eye, right there on the bone, the ocular orbit. Good. The next one is going to be underneath your nose, between your nose and your mouth. Good. The next one is between your lips and your chin, right there on the crease. Still holding that feeling present. Good. The next point is going to be between, like right underneath your clavicle or collarbone, right underneath that bone part, right below it. Or another way to think of it is if you, here on your collarbone, go down about an inch and then go over to one side, and you can go to either side. Tap there, good. And then the last point is going to be underneath your arm. Good, still holding that feeling present. All right, then we're going to circle on our chest as though you were circling the top part. The top part of the circle is facing out, like as though you're out your arm. So we want to go through there. Good, we take a nice deep breath and let out a sigh. Because that's our body's natural way of letting go of stress. All right, so that's the sequence. While we're doing that, while we're running through the sequence, we want to say what it is that's bothering us. Kind of identify it, just like we did with the boundary conditions. So we're gonna go through and say that you're just feeling not enough. So you can go through and tap, I feel not enough. I really feel not enough. Between the eyes. I feel inadequate as a human being. On the outside, no matter what I do, I know that it won't be enough. I don't do enough. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. Whatever it is that you're feeling, that is the core feeling of what it is that you want to neutralize. As you go through and I feel I am not enough. I feel inadequate. And it looks kind of silly to do this, so this is one technique that I would not suggest doing out in front of people. So after you go through, you want to go through and circle. After you go through the cycle, you want to circle here. And through this part, we're going to kind of release some of the emotion. So you'll say it, phrase it like this. So even though I feel not enough, I love and accept myself completely. And we'll repeat this 2 more times. So even though I feel not enough, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I feel inadequate or whatever it is, I love and accept myself completely. You'll take in a nice deep breath, let out a sigh, and then you're going to recalibrate on that scale of 1 to 10, where does that emotion lie? And oftentimes you'll notice that it's diminished by a number or 2, maybe even by half. So that's the emotional freedom technique. There are different variations out there. This one's a little different from the core teaching, but really the main factor, the one thing to focus on is hold that emotion present as you go through the process. And as you're doing the circling here, just make what you're sharing, what you're saying with yourself feel true. If it doesn't feel true, change it. Change it to something positive that does feel true. A little secret that I learned from my mentor, Wendy Marin, is that if you're saying, I love and accept myself completely, and it doesn't quite feel true, you can kind of sneak it past that guard by putting a pretty, present, put it in wrapping, that I like the idea that I love and accept myself completely. And that'll help you get that change that you're desiring. So that's the EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping. Look for areas in your life where you can use it. I'd recommend doing it once a day at least, maybe even twice a day when you wake up and when you go to sleep. But use this technique. It's one of my 2 favorite techniques. Between this and self-hypnosis, these are like the go-to tools.